Professor Nye, welcome to Beijing, and I want to thank you for giving interview with China.org.cn. And you are a famous scholar of international relations and an important figure for international affairs and national security in Clinton administration. First, I want to ask you a very general question. What do you think about the current state of U.S.-China relation?
Well, we're going through a difficult time in U.S.-China relations. People focus very much on the trade wars and the question of will we find some agreement of these trade issues, but it's actually deeper than that. If Hillary Clinton had won, there would still be difficulties. In other words, it's not just Donald Trump that's the problem. Trump has made things worse, but there's a feeling among both Republicans and Democrats in Washington that China has not played fair, that there's not been real reciprocity. So that would have been there before Trump. Trump essentially is like a man who came along and there was a fire burning and he poured gasoline on the fire. So it's flaring up now, but the fire would have been there anyway.
Okay. And some people see that China and the U.S. are locked in a trade war, a Cold War, and some people even see that the two countries are moving towards a real war. Do you think that the two countries have the courage and the wisdom to get out of this?
I don't think the China and the U.S. are destined for war. I don't think we're even destined for Cold War. If you think back on the Cold War between the U.S. and the Soviet Union, you must realize that there was almost no trade and no social relations. With China, we have obviously massive trade, and we have, 370,000 Chinese students in the U.S., millions of tourists going in both directions. This is not like the Cold War, and we should not use the language of Cold War. I think I've called it a cooperative rivalry. Yes, there will be a
that's
rivalry.
your choice of
My choice
the words.
of words, because I want people to realize that even when there's rivalry, there can be cooperation. And it's essential that we manage the U.S.-China relationship to have the cooperation part. There's no way that with climate change, for example, or financial stability, or dealing with pandemics, there's no way the U.S. can solve that problem without working with China. There's no way China can solve that problem without working with the U.S. So as we think about this, yes, there'll be tension, but there has to be cooperation.
Okay, that's a very good choice of word. Yeah. Thank you. And you are the inventor of the notion of soft power and smart power. And I like the two phrases very much. And I want to ask you, China is now the second largest economy in the world and is playing a very important role in the international stage. How do you think China would use smart power and soft power to make itself better understood?
Well, smart power means the ability to combine the power of attraction with the power of coercion and economic strength. And when Hu Jintao told the 17th Party Congress in 2007 that China should invest more in its soft power, its attractive power, that was a very smart strategy, because China's hard power, economic and military, is growing, but if China can also increase its soft power of attractiveness, it makes that more acceptable to other countries. So in that sense, China has been following a smart power strategy.
And given President Trump's America First policy and the U.S. withdrawal from international agreements, etc., what is your assessment of America's soft power in the past 2 years? Was it reduced by the policies of Trump administration?
I think President Trump has definitely reduced American soft power, and you can see this by public opinion polls. When you have a slogan like America First, it makes everybody else feel second. So it may be a good slogan for American domestic opinion. It's a very bad slogan for international opinion. And so I think you can say that Trump has reduced American soft power. There's also an effort by a London consultancy called Portland to do an index of what they call the soft power 30, or the soft power of 30 countries. And the U.S. was ranked first a couple of years ago. I think it's now fallen to third or fourth place since President Trump's election.
Okay. And what do you think of President Xi's concept of building a community of a shared future of mankind?
Well, I think that's a very good concept, because if you just take again this issue of climate change,
Yes.
where President Trump made a big mistake of withdrawing the United States from the Paris climate agreements. But climate change doesn't obey the laws of politics, it obeys
Yes.
the law of physics. And over time, climate change is going to damage China, it's going to damage the U.S. And it's essential that we find ways to cooperate with each other and with other countries. I think President Xi's slogan is a way of illustrating that type of cooperation. It's something which is going to be essential for all mankind. I sometimes say that we have to learn not about power over others, but power with others.
The power with others.
Right.
Yes. Okay, thank you. And last month we celebrated the 40th anniversary of China's reform and opening up. And this year, 2019, is the 70th anniversary of the People's Republic of China. And in about 20 days, we are going to celebrate our traditional Spring Festival. Will you say a few words to your Chinese audience on the internet?
Well, I would say that China has much to be proud of. If you look at what has happened in China, of raising hundreds of millions of people out of poverty, that's good for China. It's good for all of humanity. And I hope that that will continue, and that as the Spring Festival is celebrated, that people will keep in mind that they want to do things that are good for China, but also good for the rest of humanity.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Professor Nye. Thank you for your time.
My pleasure.
It's a pleasure to talk to you.
Thank you.